be honest with me for a second. I really want you to think about this right now.
Okay, I'm ready.
How many times have you checked your phone today? I mean, really. Was it 10 times? 50 times? Maybe 100?
Yeah, and here is the follow-up question that usually stings a little bit more. How many times did you feel, just a little bit worse after checking it?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You know that exact feeling, right? It's like a tiny drop in your mood, or maybe a flash of annoyance, or just this vague sense of,
It is such a strange, specific feeling, but I think every single person listening right now knows exactly what we are talking about,
absolutely.
which really raises this massive, overarching question. What if the apps that are designed to connect us, the ones supposedly built to bring us all together, are actually the very things making us feel more alone?
That is the central paradox we are exploring today. It is probably, arguably one of the most significant psychological shifts in the modern world. We are more plugged in than ever before, yet all the data suggests we're increasingly unhappy. So, is social media to blame?
Well, we are going to find out. Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Practice English Studio.
Yes, welcome.
If you are new here, this is the place where we improve your English naturally. We definitely do not do boring grammar drills here.
No drills, just real talk.
Exactly. We have real, deep conversations about modern life so you can learn the language the way it is actually spoken by real people.
And the idea is that if you're genuinely interested in the topic, the English learning just happens automatically.
It really does.
And today's topic is something that affects literally everyone, and I mean us included. We aren't sitting here as some kind of digital gurus who have perfectly mastered our screen time.
Oh, definitely not. I am absolutely in the trenches with you guys. I have my own daily struggles with the screen.
Shame here.
So, our mission today is to explore this link between our phones and our happiness, and maybe hopefully find a way to reclaim a bit of our mental peace.
I really think reclaim is the perfect word for it. We need to take back some of that mental real estate.
We really do. So, let's unpack this. I want to start with the concept that I think is the root of so much of this modern anxiety. It's what we call the comparison trap.
Oh, this is huge. This is basically the engine that drives all the insecurity online.
Right. So, let me paint a picture for you and for everyone listening. It is 8 p.m. You have had a really long, exhausting day at work. You are tired. You are wearing your old sweatpants.
The comfy ones.
Exactly. And you open Instagram or TikTok just to, relax. But what actually happens next?
Well, logically, your brain knows you are just looking at a glass screen.
Yeah.
But emotionally, you are suddenly transported directly into other people's lives.
And for me, honestly, it is a gamble every time I open the app. Sometimes I see a cool art project and I feel inspired, but a lot of the time, maybe even most of the time, I look at my phone and then I look around at my messy living room and I just feel like my life is not exciting enough.
Yeah, I feel like I am not doing enough.
Exactly. That is the feeling.
And that reaction is almost universal. But we need to really analyze why that happens, because it is not just that other people have cool lives.
Right.
It is about the specific nature of the content you are consuming. When you scroll through that feed, what are you actually seeing?
I mean, I'm seeing the hits, the highlight reel.
Yes.
I am seeing my friend who just got back from a luxury trip to Bali. I'm seeing an acquaintance who just bought a brand new Tesla. I'm seeing someone my age launching a business that supposedly made $1 million in a week.
You are seeing the victories. You are seeing everyone's peak moments. So it creates this illusion that everyone else is moving forward at 100 miles an hour.
Well, I am just sitting on my couch eating leftover pizza from Tuesday. It just feels like everyone is winning except me.
But here's the mechanism that we often completely ignore. You are falling into a deeply unfair comparison.
How so?
You're comparing your internal reality to someone else's external highlights.
Wow, okay. That is such a crucial distinction. Internal reality versus external highlights.
Think about it. You know your full reality. You know you woke up tired. You know you have to do laundry. You know you are stressed about a deadline at work.
The boring stuff.
Right, that is your daily routine. And you are comparing that messy, normal, sometimes boring routine to a carefully selected, filtered photograph of someone else's absolute best moment of the entire year.
It is like comparing my behind the scenes footage where the lighting is terrible and the actors are forgetting all their lines to their polished, edited movie trailer.
That is a perfect analogy. And the problem is, biologically, our brains aren't really built to understand that distinction instinctively.
We just believe what we see.
Exactly. We see the image and our brain registers it as reality. And when that perceived reality looks so much better than ours, it directly damages our self-esteem.
And self esteem is basically the reputation you have with yourself, right? It is how you view your own worth.
Precisely. And if you spend 2 hours a day looking at people who appear to be richer, fitter, happier, and more successful than you, your brain starts to ask some pretty heavy negative questions.
Questions like, why aren't I there yet? Or why don't I look like that?
Exactly. It creates a deficit mindset. You start focusing entirely on what you lack rather than what you actually have.
It really is a spiral because you start scrolling to feel better, then you see these perfect lives, you feel worse. And so you keep scrolling to distract yourself from feeling bad.
It's a trap.
It is, but there is one thing we always forget when we are stuck in that loop. It is the most obvious thing in the world, but it is practically invisible online.
We forget the context.
Yes, we forget that people do not post their problems.
Nobody uploads a photo of their argument with their spouse. No one posts a video of themselves staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., panicking about credit card debt.
Yeah.
We just don't see the failures.
I mean, I have never seen a selfie of someone having a panic attack in a bathroom stall, but we know it happens.
We know it happens to everyone, even the biggest influencers with the perfect lighting and the perfect filters. Social media is an edited gallery. It is a performance. It is absolutely not a documentary.
I always think if we could just see the bloopers of everyone's lives, we would feel a lot less insecure.
We absolutely would. We would realize we are all just struggling through the exact same human mess.
So we have the comparison trap, which is the psychological side of things, but I want to shift gears to the biological side. Because here's the crazy part. Even when I know all of this, even when I logically know it is fake, I still cannot pin the phone down.
And that is the addiction component.
Yeah.
And it is important to realize that it is not an accident. It is
Yeah.
built that way by design.
Why are these apps so sticky? Why is it so incredibly hard to just close them and walk away?
It all comes down to a specific neurotransmitter in your brain called dopamine.
Ah, the famous feel-good chemical.
Well, people call it the feel-good chemical, but in neuroscience, it's actually more accurate to call it the desire chemical.
The desire chemical.
Right? It drives you to seek out rewards. So when you post a photo and you get a like or someone writes a nice comment, your brain releases a quick hit of dopamine.
So physically, inside my brain, it acts as a reward.
Yes, your brain literally says, "Ooh, that was nice.
Yeah.
Let's do that again." It creates a feedback loop. Action, reward, reinforcement.
But it is not just when we post things ourselves, right? Because I get stuck even when I am just scrolling through other people's stuff.
That is where it gets really interesting and honestly a little scary. It is what psychologists call variable reward schedules. It is the exact same mechanism used in casino slot machines.
Okay, you have to break that down for us. How is my smartphone like a slot machine?
When you pull the handle on a slot machine, you don't know if you're going to win. You might get absolutely nothing, you might get a little payout, or you might hit the jackpot.
Right.
That unpredictability drives the human brain crazy.
Yeah.
It actually releases more dopamine in anticipation of the reward than it does for the reward itself.
Wow. So when I take my thumb and swipe down to refresh my email or I refresh my Instagram feed.
You don't know what you are going to get. Is it going to be a boring update? Is it a hilarious meme? Is it a message from someone you have a crush on? The uncertainty is what makes the behavior compulsive.
That perfectly explains what I always call the zombie scroll.
I love that term. Describe the zombie scroll for me.
You know exactly what I mean. It is when you have like 5 minutes of downtime, you are waiting for the microwave, you unlock your phone, your thumb automatically taps the app icon, you don't even make a conscious decision to do it.
Yep, muscle memory.
And suddenly, you are 10 minutes deep into a video about professional cake decorating, and you sort of wake up and think, wait, why am I here? I don't even like cake.
That is exactly it. Your conscious brain wasn't even driving the bus. Your habit loop completely took over. It was an automatic behavior driven purely by that craving for a dopamine hit.
It really makes me feel like a lab rat sometimes, just sitting there, pressing the lever, waiting for the little pellet of food.
In a way, we kind of are, but there is a very dark flip side to this dopamine cycle. What happens when you put something out there? You post a picture and you do not get the reaction you wanted.
Oh, the silence. That hurts.
Is the crash.
Yeah.
You post a photo you think is really great. You wait, 5 minutes go by, 10 minutes,
Mm.
no likes.
And even if you tell yourself, look, I am a grown adult, I do not care about internet likes, you still feel that little pinch in your stomach.
Because that is a literal dopamine withdrawal.
Yeah.
Your brain expected the reward, and the reward didn't come. And that sudden disappointment can actually negatively affect your mood for the rest of the day.
It is wild that we let these tiny little digital numbers dictate our real world happiness. It just sounds so exhausting when we actually say it out loud.
It is exhausting.
Mhm.
It keeps us on this constant emotional roller coaster that is totally out of our control. And that emotional instability leads us right into another major hurdle: FOMO.
Ah, the fear of missing out. This acronym has been around for a while now, but the feeling itself is timeless.
It is deeply evolutionary.
So, for anyone who doesn't know, FOMO is basically that sinking feeling in your gut that everyone else is out having a fantastic time without you.
Let's look at a specific scenario from the source material to really illustrate this. Imagine you are at home on a Friday night. You are in your pajamas. You have a really good book or maybe a great movie queued up. You feel perfectly fine. You are completely content.
I love those nights. You feel safe, warm, and relaxed.
Exactly. But then you casually check your phone and you see a story posted by a friend. They are out at a party. Or maybe you see a picture of your coworkers having dinner together, clinking glasses, laughing.
And boom, the mood shifts instantly.
What happens to you in that exact second?
I go from feeling totally relaxed to feeling left out. I feel excluded. I feel incredibly lonely.
But notice how quickly that happened. Nothing in your actual physical reality changed. You are still warm, safe, and comfortable on your couch. But your digital window showed you something that triggered a very primal fear.
Why does it hurt so much, though? Logically, it is just a dinner.
Because for our early human ancestors, being excluded from the tribe literally meant death. If the group went hunting without you or shared food around the fire without you, you were in serious physical danger.
Oh, wow.
Our brains are still hardwired to view social exclusion as a literal threat to our survival.
So when I see that photo of my coworkers, my brain isn't just saying, oh, look, they're eating pizza. My brain is screaming, you are being rejected. You are going to die alone.
Exactly. And then our brains do something even worse to torture us.
Ugh.
We create a narrative. We invent a much bigger story around the photo.
Oh, I am so guilty of this. I see the photo and I immediately think they didn't invite me because they think I'm boring, or I bet they're secretly talking about me right now.
You fill in the gaps with your own deepest insecurities. But the actual reality might be incredibly simple. Maybe it was a totally last minute thing. Maybe they just ran into each other on the street. Maybe they knew you had a long week and assumed you were busy.
But the photo feels like hard evidence. It feels like absolute proof that I am not part of the inner circle.
It is visual proof of exclusion, completely stripped of context. And that is a perfect recipe for instant sadness.
Okay, we have painted a pretty dark picture here so far. We've got the comparison trap making us feel inadequate, the dopamine loops turning us into addicts, and FOMO making us feel chronically lonely. If we stopped the episode right here, I think I would just throw my smartphone in the nearest river.
It does sound pretty grim. But we have to be balanced here. We are definitely not anti-technology.
No, absolutely not. I mean, we are literally using digital platforms right now to connect with listeners all over the world. There is a massive upside to all of this technology.
Right, we need to pivot and acknowledge the specific benefits that we found in the source material. Because social media isn't only a negativity machine.
For me personally, I have learned so much. I find amazing cooking tips that save me time. I find brilliant productivity hacks for work. I even follow historians who teach me fascinating things I never learned in school.
And think about what our listeners are doing right this very second. They are using this technology, listening to a podcast to learn English. They're actively improving themselves. That is a massively positive use case.
It is an incredible tool for education and connection, too.
Absolutely. If you have family on the other side of the world, these apps are a lifeline. You can watch your nieces and nephews grow up through video calls and photo sharing. You can stay a part of their daily lives in a way that simply wasn't possible 20 or 30 years ago.
And for small businesses, it is a game changer. I've seen tiny little shops like people making pottery or jewelry in their garage find a massive global audience just because of Instagram or TikTok.
It democratizes opportunity. It allows really important ideas to spread quickly. So the final verdict isn't that social media is inherently evil.
So, what is the verdict then?
The verdict is that the problem isn't the tool itself. The problem is how we use it and how much we use it.
It is all about the relationship we have with it.
Think of it like a hammer. A hammer is a fantastic tool for building a house. But if you hit yourself in the face with it every single day, you are going to be in a lot of pain.
You don't blame the hammer for that. You just need to stop hitting yourself in the face.
That is a very visceral image, but it totally works. We are currently hitting ourselves in the face with our phones.
Yeah.
So how do we stop? What is the actual action plan here?
We need to build healthy habits. And I do not mean vague, unhelpful advice like just use your phone less. We need concrete, actionable steps.
Okay, let's get practical. What is step one?
Step one is limits, but you have to be highly specific.
Yeah, I find if I just tell myself I'll use it less today, I fail immediately.
Because willpower is a limited resource. You can't rely on it. You need a system. Use the built-in screen time settings on your phone. Set a hard limit. Say, I get 30 minutes for Instagram per day. And when that timer goes off, respect it. Close the app.
It's about creating friction, right?
Yeah.
Making it just a little bit harder to mindlessly scroll. Yes. Some people even delete their social apps on the weekend entirely. Or they move the app icon into a random folder on the very last page of their phone's home screen, so they don't see it every single time they unlock the device.
I really like that. Make yourself work for it. Okay, step two. This is one I've actually started doing recently, and it helps so much.
Curate your feed.
Yes. Treat your feed like it is your own living room. You wouldn't invite people into your real house who sit there and make you feel terrible about yourself.
That is such a powerful way to frame it. You are the editor of your own digital experience. If you follow an account, even if it's supposed to be a fitness inspiration account, and every time you see their posts, you feel bad about your own body, unfollow them.
You really don't owe them your attention.
You really don't. Protect your mental space fiercely. Unfollow, mute, or block. You don't have to keep watching it. Fill your feed with things that genuinely make you laugh or teach you something new or just make you feel calm.
Love that. Okay, what is step three?
Step three is intention. This is the ultimate antidote to the zombie scroll we talked about.
This sounds a lot like mindfulness.
It is exactly that. Before you unlock your phone, just pause for 1 single second and ask yourself, why am I doing this right now?
Am I just bored? Am I feeling lonely? Or do I actually need to check a specific email?
Right. If the honest answer is, I am anxious and I want a distraction, maybe don't open the app. Maybe look out the window or take a deep breath instead. But if the answer is, I want to spend 20 minutes learning something useful or I want to see the photos from my sister's wedding, then go ahead. Go in with a clear purpose, do the thing, and get out.
It is about being the driver of the car, not just a passive passenger.
Exactly. And finally, we have step 4, acceptance.
This kind of brings us all the way back to the start. Acceptance of what, exactly?
Acceptance that real life is not perfect, and that is completely okay.
We really have to stop expecting our normal Tuesday morning to look like a travel influencer's Saturday night in Dubai.
Real life includes making mistakes. It includes feeling bored. It includes awkward conversations and days where you just feel sad for no reason.
Yeah.
That is the full, authentic human experience.
And if we can accept that our lives are supposed to be messy, those highly polished, perfect photos on the screen suddenly lose their power to hurt us.
We really need to embrace the mess, because the mess is where actual real life happens.
This has been such a necessary conversation for me to have today. I just want to take a second for some personal reflection before we wrap up the episode.
Sure, go for it.
Do you feel like social media makes you unhappy?
Sometimes. I have to be completely honest. When I am already tired or I'm stressed from work and I start scrolling, it almost always makes me feel worse. It amplifies whatever negative emotion I am already feeling.
It is an amplifier. That is a really good way to put it.
But on the flip side, when I am using it to learn a new skill or to share a project I am passionate about, I feel great. It really is entirely about the dosage and the intent. When I control it, I feel fine. When it controls me, I feel stressed.
Yeah. For me, it is all about balance. I love the connection part of it, but I absolutely hate the comparison part. I am definitely still working on finding that sweet spot.
It is a constant practice. It is not something you just fix once and then forget about forever. You have to keep checking in with yourself every day.
And on that note, I want to ask our listener, you listening to us right now, to do a really quick check in with yourself today.
Yes, the very next time you close TikTok or Instagram, just pause for 3 seconds
Ask yourself, how do I feel right now?
and be brutally honest with yourself. Do you feel inspired or do you just feel tired?
Do you feel connected to people or do you actually feel more lonely?
Do you feel motivated to go do something or do you just feel pressured?
Those answers will tell you absolutely everything you need to know about your current relationship with the app.
Remember, social media is just a tool. It is powerful, it is sharp, and it is incredibly useful, but do not let the tool use you.
Awareness really is the first step to taking back control.
And if you are aware of how it affects your mood, you can change your habits. You can consciously choose your own happiness over the endless scroll.
So true. Before we go, I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over. Imagine what your life would look like and who you would become if you took all those hours spent watching strangers live their lives and spent them fully engaged in your own. What kind of person would you meet?
That is a great question to end on.
Well, we hope this episode has given you something real to think about and maybe even a good reason to put the phone down for a bit after you finish listening.
And of course, we hope it helped you practice your English listening skills with a topic that actually matters to your daily life.
If this conversation helped you think in English and reflect on your digital habits, please give this episode a like or a rating on whatever platform you're using. It really helps us out a lot.
And share it with a friend who maybe scrolls a little too much. We all know someone who needs to hear this.
Don't forget to subscribe to Practice English Studio for more real, deep conversations about modern life.
We have a lot more really interesting topics coming up soon.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone. See you in the next episode.
Bye.